Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Shai Bashim Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. To the scattered the scattered Israelites that are among the heathen, scattered to the four corners of the earth, looking like the heathen, bringing on that confusion. To the hopefully elect, the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to them I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm. We're coming at you with another lesson. It's going to be raw and organic. Going off a couple things that I witnessed, that I saw today. One of them being, I watched a quick clip of the, well, not a clip, but I was watching some of the video with the brother from the Men of Valor put up. The head there, the Simeonite brother, Salaki, I can't remember the brother's name right now. Beautiful brother, diligent in the spirit, constantly feeding the flock and putting up, videos. But he was talking about the hurricane and the movie Crawl, how it was a Category 5 hurricane that came in and brought all these alligators, and and they were stuck in a crawl space. Hence the name of the movie. It's actually a pretty good movie. I watched it. Basically what you're witnessing is that these movies and a lot of different entertainment are prophecies being flashed before your faces, things being fulfilled. And that there's a saying called art imitates life, or fact is stranger than fiction, and the facts are stranger than fiction. Just like you had Missy Elliott do the performance with the with the Jakes getting lifted up into the chariots. So they try to make fun of reality, to distort the truth. So when the truth happens, people just kind of blow it off. So I'm gonna grab a quick scripture, man. This is the first scripture is Sirach 39:1, and it reads, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecy." So you should be, if you're not talking about prophecies, the things that are happening, the things that are to come, and the signs, all the signs are here. All right, and what you're looking at on the screen, is from the movie Angel Has Fallen, and the first part was Olympus have fallen, and so Esau knows that his end is near, and this is just another, and it also shows you in this movie how they can fabricate information just to start a war and start wars, and they have done this in the past. Right? All you need to do is watch that movie that the Apostle Gabar has spoken about many times, called Wag the Dog. And they had themselves a whole war, which started off they faked the war, which turned into a real war, which is what you're witnessing on the screen in this movie, as you're seeing this Edomite get blown to pieces by drones. They had attack drones that are actually seek you out, identify you, and then fly at you and blow up. All right? Took out his whole team. Spoiler alert. Plan on seeing this movie. The movie is actually pretty good, but Esau just telling on himself. All right? But here's another scripture. This is Revelation 19:10. And it reads, "And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai. Worship power, for the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy." All right, and we're going into the prophecies. How Israel is at war with Lebanon right now, and they're still fighting with over in Syria. These damn Israelis are out of control, man. And nobody's checking them. they're going back and forth with Hezbollah out of Lebanon, so they say. All right? And they're constantly going into Syria. So what they're saying is they're doing preemptive strikes on Iran before Iran does anything, or that whole sort of nature. And also you got Benjamin Netanyahu is actually in trouble come October. So another way to keep him in office and keep him out of the courts for all the charges he's being brought up on for different crimes is to start a war. All right, and that's exactly what the movie Wag the Dog was about. All right, but in this movie right here, that's on the screen, there was a assassination attempt on the president, and he had inside help, and they were trying to get funding for what you call the private sector troops, private contractors, because that's where the real money is. You know, operations and groups like Blackwater. So they did all this corrupt thing, killed all these men, and blamed it on the top agent, who was also really close to the president, and then falsified information, collected up his DNA and information, and basically said he was in collusion with the Russians. All right. So this goes to show, and then they pushed it out into the media. So what are they showing you? False news and lies, and how they can fabricate, information to make someone look guilty. They even, at the end of the movie, they even had a scene where Morgan Freeman was standing with the world leaders. So how easy will it be to use that same technology on a commercial to make a brother say something he didn't say, or appear to be a part, because they want to link the Hebrew Israelites to a Muslim group, a terrorist group so bad, but the Hebrew Israelites are completely against Islam and the Muslims. So it's going to be a very difficult thing to do. But if you can falsify put out a bunch of movies, put out a bunch of false information, and put it on a channel like CNN or Fox, who has no problem running false stories, then there you have it, man. Another thing that they admitted in this movie, was that they're going to use EMP technology. All right, because there was a scene where they used EMP technology to kill a bunch of vehicles and then attack them. All right. They also admitted in this movie that their troops are spread thin. All right, and that's another prophecy, because let's go to Habakkuk real quick, because you don't have enough men in the military, and America's military is spread thin, and so these people are lobbying for private contractors to get more money so they can make themselves rich. Operations and groups like Halliburton. All right, we all know who that made rich. All right, but this is Habakkuk 2:1, and it said, "And I will stand on my watch and set me upon the tower and watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." All right? So let's jump down to verse 6. It says, "Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth up himself with thick clay." And that's America, because they laid up that thick clay is talking about debt. And the nations are angry and tired of them. And they can see the issue and the problem. A lot of the nations are bucking up against America. Have you become weak like us? Okay? And America's militaries are spread thin. That's what they're going to have. Eventually, they're going to have a draft again. And they already put out the information that women can now be drafted, man. Okay? So also in this movie, there's a scene where he goes and finds his father, who's been living off grid for, practically his whole life. And he's a Vietnam veteran. But he was warning him about how the government was going to turn on soldiers and turn on you. And they did. All right, and that his father was always talking about this Big Brother stuff, and then Big Brother proved itself to be true and to be real and to be the boogeyman. And his father was in the position to say, "I told you so." And also watching the movie, they also made him to be, because he made a joke about how he looked like the Unabomber. And that's what they try to make people out to be, former military and guys who are truthers and constitutionalists. They want to make them out to be bug outs, and like they just believe in all these crazy plots and plans, which they use the word conspiracy a lot. Okay? But conspiracy is just a word. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, it doesn't mean that it has to be something bad. Like someone who goes to college, well, guess what? They conspired to go to college. Someone learned to play the bass or the piano. They conspired to learn to play the bass or piano. All right? When did it have to be something that is negative? So basically, they've taken that word and they've learned to use it as a trigger point to get people's thought process going to, oh, well, this dude is a full hat type guy. If you start talking about your government committing crimes and then passing it off on other people or setting other people up, but yet you got movies that you probably got a couple thousand movies with that very same conspiracy in it, that very same plot. Why? Because it's real, like it hasn't happened for real. Okay? You got to remember, there was a movie with Jeremy Renner, the guy who plays Hawkeye in the Avengers movies, where he played a reporter who exposed the crack epidemic was set up by the CIA. Well, where do you think crack came from? It was created in a laboratory and then introduced and put on the streets. Why? To destroy a certain population of people. Who? Damn, what the hell just happened here? Let's go back. Shilaki, I lost my picture. A fly landed on the screen and everything went haywire. All right? A damn fly. And nothing but Satan, man. Satan trying to hinder this truth. And then it's playing a damn commercial and won't let me click off of it until the ad finishes. Boy, Satan is something else. Boy, I can't stand Esau. But you know what? We just go ahead and let that play in the background without the sound so I can't get a hit. But nevertheless, Esau is completely and totally exposed, man. Right? So let's go over the things real quick, the trigger points of this movie. They show you drone technology and how advanced it is and how a drone could actually identify your face, all right, and then fly at you and destroy you. All right, be it an injection or an explosion. They're going to use EMPs, and these movies show you things that Esau is actually planning to do. Because how many movies are made where the same scenario happens in real life, just like the Crawl movie, and now all of a sudden you got what you call it, a hurricane that went from being a threat to a level 5, and we do know Christopher Green did a video talking about HARP technology and that he believes it could be that the nations are aiming them at each other. There's fires burning on all these different continents. I mean, it's just there's wars and rumors of wars, famine. Hell, you got martial law over in China, man. As a matter of fact, the Chinese are spraying the citizens with blue dye so they can go track them down later. Okay. They also admitted in this movie that the troops are spread thin. All right? So America has a problem with its troops. You got private armies, like you see the ones there, that are going to commit terrorist acts. All right? Then here's the kook who's the conspiracy theorist. But everything that the old man was saying was true. All right? He was talking about what? Big Brother. All right? And then you got soldiers / terrorists, because there's a thin line between the two, man. And they show you how he's framed, how they're going to frame and lie on people. Soldiers, citizens, police officers, anyone who opposes or just happens to be the guy that can take the fall. Whoever that could be. So, but Esau's exposed and he is about to fall. Let's get one more scripture, man. Let's get Isaiah 14th chapter. All right? Because contrary to popular belief, that fallen individual is talking about a race of people. It's talking about a man, a people, the Edomites. All right? Satan is not a beautiful angel that fell from grace and all that. There's no scriptures to substantiate that. That's some Roman Catholic colonial Christianity, slave plantation bullshit. All right? But this is Isaiah the 14th chapter. And I'm going to read verse 4. It says, "Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressors ceased? The golden city ceased." So, it's going to fall. Okay? This in verse 9. "Hell from beneath is moved to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It is raised up from their thrones, all the kings of the nations." So hell is going to meet Babylon. It's going to come here. And all the nations, the kings of the earth, are going to come against Babylon, man. All right? Because they're already complaining vocally and out loud about all the crimes that are being done. All right? And it says, "All they that speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?" Why? Because everybody else has the nukes now and has the weaponry. All right? It's not just America, the only one coming to the fight, to a gunfight, and America's the only one with guns. That's the equivalent of the firepower that America had over everyone else. But now that's not the case anymore. Right? "Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and worms cover thee." So worms represent deterioration, man. Death, decaying. Right? And that pompous pride is brought low. And America is decaying. Right? Verse 12. "How thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How thou cut down to the ground, which did weakest the nations." All right? So Lucifer means illuminated. Illuminated ones. And who's the so-called Illuminati? The wise people. Esau, Edom. So that they're being brought down to the ground from power. Heaven meaning rulership. They're falling from rulership. All right? "For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into the heavens and will exalt my throne above the stars of power, and I will sit upon the mount of the congregations in the sides of the north." Here in North America, man. And they do declare themselves to be higher and declare themselves God and to be higher than God himself, man. Made himself out to be God. All right? Verse 15. "Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. And they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider, saying, Is this the man that did make the earth to tremble and to shake kingdoms?" So Lucifer is a man, a race of people, the biblical Edomites. And they are fallen. And this is yet just another movie depicting it as the Edomite gets led out of the White House in cuffs. But it's not going to be like that. When you go down, you're going down with blood. You're going to get destroyed. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Abishai Ba'Shem Rakakadash Wa Abba Babal.